Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Gaming Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I am here to review Blue Beetle. Sorry about my voice, I'm a little under the weather, but I'm feeling better. Blue Beetle. Now, preference this, I love the Blue Beetle character. I'm even fond of the original Ted Kord Blue Beetle and Booster Gold package duo. They were cool together as well. But Jaime Reyes is a great character. He's very fun. He's even in the comics and whatnot. He is very Spider-Man-esque. He's very Miss Marvel-esque in his origin and in his approach, and he's very family-oriented. It's a cool character. It's a great character. It's one of those characters that I've always said him and Static Shock were DC's answers to Spider-Man. Like him and Static are DC's answers to Spider-Man. That's just plain and simple. And when you capture those characters, you really get something special out of them. So I was excited for Blue Beetle. Now this movie has gone through a lot because it was supposed to be a straight to HBO Max. This movie was made to be on HBO Max. Now it wasn't like it was a cheap movie made for HBO Max, but it was made to be on HBO Max. Somewhere along the lines, I can't remember if it was James Gunn's decision or whatnot, they decided to make it an actual live action movie. They decided to actually put it out there. So now we got this Blue Beetle movie. Now, alright, I'm gonna keep a buck 100 with you guys because I don't bullshit, and you guys know I don't bullshit. I was looking very much forward to this movie. Most of the people that I follow, Superwise and other people, have had glowing things to say about this movie, so I was looking very much forward to this movie. And I gotta say, I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed. This movie, to me, is the most safe superhero movie, one of the most safe superhero movies I've ever seen. Outside of the family, everything else is just ripped off from some other superhero movie. It is so strange watching this movie. This movie is derivative of so many other superhero movies. And I know, you know, so many superhero movies have come out and done a lot of things, so it's really hard not to at least be a little derivative of certain superhero movies. But there are straight up sequences in this movie that are ripped off from Iron Man and Ant-Man. Like, straight up. There's a sequence where the bad guy, who just happens to be, with the bad guy, the bad woman, so to speak, is looking at a screen and they're showing off the new technology, and it, swear to God, it is exactly like when Darren Cross was showing off the Yellow Jacket to his buyers. It's the exact same sequence. They even have damn near the same guy doing the voice of the introduction of the new technology. It's the same fucking sequence. There's a sequence where he first gets his suit and he flies up high, and he flies up super high in the air. And they do basically the same thing from Iron Man, with him flying high in the air, a female voice telling him how high he's getting, and then once he gets to the top, it drops him, and he just falls down and he's freaking out. I'm like, dude, this is ripped right out of the original Iron Man. There's so many sequences in the movie that are like that it was shocking to me. That I'm like, dude, is there an original thought in this goddamn movie? And the conclusion I came to was not really. Now, the family is great. Whenever the family is on screen, particularly George Lopez, it is fun. But even the stuff with the family is a bit whatever, because they just can do, because the family can conveniently do what he needs them to do. In the beginning of the movie, there is not a hint that George Lopez's character is some tech whiz. There's not a hint. There's not something in the background. There's not a hint, oh, I got how he used to have a PhD. They just kind of make it seem like he's this what I'm talking about, freeloading uncle who's just crashing on the couch. And then all of a sudden, they need to break into something, and suddenly he's like, I got a piece of technology for that. And it came out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, he just has a piece of technology for that. And then they have to infiltrate a base, and they're like, well, no one in the series ever infiltrated a base. We don't know how to get in there. And the grandmother's like, oh, and suddenly the grandmother used to be a fucking rebel, and she's infiltrated bases back in the day, so she knows how to infiltrate a building. It's like, they do shit like that, and it's just like, bruh, like, I can't just ignore the ridiculous of the convenience of that you literally made them good at something when you needed them to be good at something without any fucking setup. And that bothered me. Him being able to drive the Blue Beetle fucking thing within a few minutes of being in the goddamn thing bothered me. Like, it was just weird. Not to mention Jaime, he's the least most interesting part of the movie. Now, he's not bad. Don't get me wrong. The actor playing him, who I love from Cobra Kai, isn't bad. But, like, his family is far more interesting than he is. Which is just funny, because he's just, you know, the noble, good-intentioned kid. Which is not fine, but it's just funny that the rest of his families are way more interesting than him. And don't get me started with the villains. They are paint-by-number villains. They're not even that creative in the end. They try to do something with one of them, but they don't give it enough time for anything to really come of it. So what you end up with is the classic hero fighting the villain who has the exact same powers as him. Literally, this is the safest fucking superhero movie I've ever seen. They don't do anything original at all. And it was like mind-blowing. Every superhero movie has a thing. A thing. That's like, regardless of what in this movie is similar to other things, this one big thing that's the big difference between this and the other movies is what makes it unique. This doesn't really have that. It really doesn't. Sometimes the violence seems like it should be more violent. There's this weird contrast between Jaime not wanting to kill people, but his family wanting to killing people left and right, so it makes it like weird for him to be like that. Also, they got the Blue Beetle, the actual Scarab, the being inside of it, wrong. First of all, which I'm not mad about this, but it is a man. It's usually a dude's voice, but that doesn't matter. The problem I have is that they made the Scarab essentially Jarvis. They made it a complete AI. In the comics and in a lot of the shows that he shows up in, the Scarab is a full sentient being, not just like some Jarvis AI Iron Man thing, which is the problem, which is what really made it like Iron Man, because they made the Scarab so much like an Iron Man. The Scarab is more like the Venom symbiote in a way, because it is a person. It has arguments with Jaime. It tells him its opinion about what we should do. And the Scarab is hardcore. And you know, the Scarab, even when the Scarab links up, the Scarab's still like, I want to kill that motherfucker, but I'm not doing it because you said not to. You know what I mean? The Scarab doesn't give a fuck. Like, near the end of the movie, spoiler alert, he doesn't kill the villain because the Scarab's like, we don't do that. We don't kill. We don't kill. And it's supposed to be this emotional moment, but in the back of my skull, I'm like, that ain't the fucking Scarab. The Scarab would be like, let's murder this motherfucker. And Jaime has to be like, whoa, stop. By the way, that entire relationship, and I know I'm gonna get shit for this, but I don't give a fuck. Their entire relationship was just reminded me of Spider-Man Homecoming. Like, literally, their entire stick, I was like, I feel like I've seen this before. I've seen this twice. I've seen this in Venom done better, and I've seen this done better in Spider-Man Homecoming, which leads me to the conclusion that I had seen this comment before from people beforehand, but I didn't know what they meant by it. I remember some people saying everything, like, this movie isn't a bad movie, but everything in this movie you have seen done better in other movies. You have seen the family thing done better in Ms. Marvel. You've seen the whole technology not being able to control it out of control done better in Spider-Man Homecoming. You've seen certain sequences better done in other movies. So it's like, in the end, this movie is just a derivative movie of other movies. There's not really an original bone in its body. The villains are lame as fuck. I can give it credit for the CGI. The CGI was pretty good. And the family was fun when they weren't plot devices or conveniently good at shit when they needed them to be conveniently good at shit. Some of the sequences, some of it was funny. But overall, what I'm left with is just a middle-of-the-road superhero movie. And it saddens me to say that because I see so much excitement, but I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. I don't see the hype. I don't see it. It's just an okay superhero movie, dude. There's nothing special about this movie at all, except the Latino representation, which is great. But that's it, bruh. Ain't nothing special about this movie whatsoever. There ain't shit in this movie you can't get in some other superhero movie. If like you can just go through a list of superhero movies and see shit better than this. This movie ain't even in my top 10. This movie, I don't even know if this is a top 10 DC movie. It might be, because DC sucks at certain things. So it might be, but it's not like, and I thought, in the worst case scenario, I thought this was going to be as good as Shazam. I thought it was going to be a Shazam-like movie. But even Shazam had some originality to it. Even Shazam took different approaches to it. This movie it's painfully average. But anyways, I would give Blue Beetle a 6.5. I was wavering. I wanted to give it a 7, but the more I thought on it, the more I was like, I gotta give this a 6.5. I just don't think it's that. I don't get it. I don't. I really don't. And I was like, I'm losing my mind here, but I don't get the hype, dude. This is a painfully average movie, man. There ain't damn thing original in this movie, bro. Ain't one damn thing. But anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show again. Please remember to like, subscribe. And what did you think of Blue Beetle? I know my opinion is very unpopular, and I'm probably gonna get some shit in the comment section. But it's just, I gotta be honest with you guys. I see why the movie isn't making a ton of money, and I'm not shocked. Anyways, thank you guys again. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.